I'm Paul Carroll. I'm the editor-in-chief of Insurance Thought Leadership, and I'm speaking to Roy Franco of Franco Signor. And we're going to talk about the Medicare secondary payer and the fact that you see some new risk emerging in that area. Why don't you just lay out a little bit what you see happening?
Oh, thank you, Paul. What I see occurring is really a perfect storm. What is occurring out there since 2007 is that Congress has required primary plans, insurance companies, self-insureds, anyone that deals with workers' compensation, auto liability, no fault, they've required them to send data or information about claims they settle with Medicare beneficiaries. On top of that issue, they have required these same plans to be responsible or have the burden of identifying those who are Medicare beneficiaries. And the whole idea of providing this information to the government is so that the government can coordinate benefits, in other words, avoid making payments under the Medicare plan that the primary plan should make,
Right.
as well as do recoveries of any past payments the government has made related to the claim that should have been done by the primary plan. So a twofold process there. And the perfect storm that's occurring is that the False Claims Act is driven by the submission of claims and submission of data to the government. And if you do it accurately, you're okay. There's no violation. But what happens if the data you submit is wrong? Well, that's false. And then the determination of it being false or having actual knowledge that it's false is what drives the liability under that act.
And this is, I assume, a very confusing sort of set of data you have to report, so it's pretty easy to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, there's about 164 plus data fields that the government is requiring from primary payers or primary plans. And these fields can range anywhere from the identity of the claimant, their last name, their first name, or in personal information, as well as who is legally representing them, and more importantly, what type of injuries are involved in the actual case. So there's a lot of points of data that could be submitted that could be problematic if not done accurately. And there are processes that Medicare has put forth that identifies how the data should be put in. And the question is, are the frontline adjusters aware of those processes and accurately putting in the data?
Right. So another complication here is that you have these people out there who have formed what I think I've heard you call the whistleblower or the key tam industry, who are more than happy to pounce if people make even just mistakes out of confusion in trying to do the reporting.
Yeah, absolutely. In 1986, President Reagan recognized that there were certain claims being presented against the United States government that resulted in overpayment by the government for defense contracting services, let's say. And he got together with a bipartisan Congress to take the False Claims Act that has been on the books since 1862 and strengthen that law and bring in the private citizen to partner with the United States government to present a claim. Because how does the government become aware of fraud? You know, it has to be brought to their attention, and people don't necessarily bring things to anyone's attention unless there is an incentive. And the False Claims Act after 1986 provided that incentive to individuals to present potential fraud to the government. And as a result of that, an industry sprung up around those potential people that have recognize certain fraud that will come in and represent that individual because they receive payment for their attorney's fees and costs.
So the intentions are good and the result is good in a lot of cases, but it does, in this case, expose people to considerable risk as they try to comply with the MSP requirements.
Exactly. I mean, the spirit of the False Claims Act makes a great deal of sense. I'm a U.S. citizen. I want my government to run as efficiently as possible. Certainly want them to pay the best price. And therefore, the False Claims Act ensures that there is this governing mechanism that makes certain that people who present claims are presenting them accurately and correctly. But then again, like any program, there is a spectrum. You're going to have those that are appropriate, make sense, False Claims Act, and then those that potentially may go beyond the line.
Right. So what's the answer? What should a company do to make sure that it's not going to have some friendly neighborhood whistleblower knocking on the door with a lawsuit?
I think they need to be absolutely clear about their program with regard to Medicare secondary payer compliance. Having a subject matter expert within the company that understands the complete picture, data reporting, conditional payment management, protecting Medicare's interests, and how the data flows into the claim system and how that data is then used by the United States government, having a subject matter expert at the company that understands that is a good step. And then additionally, after that step is in place, having outside entities come in and audit and review processes or have a claim system that has built-in business intelligence that prompts the adjuster on next steps for putting in or placing data into the system would be a way to mitigate that exposure, because it demonstrates that you're not trying to submit claims with deliberate ignorance. Right, which is the standard that the government is going to use. It's actual knowledge, which is very hard to prove, but deliberate ignorance. There's a whole host of material out there where it tells the primary payer what to or how to manage this information, and you can just look the other way. Right? That's deliberate ignorance. Or you could have a protocol and you could train your frontline adjusters to put in the information correctly.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
You're welcome.